600-635. Can you run an Idaho license plate for me?
Ontario Police Chief Steve Romero gives us a tour of his city.
We're going to head over to the east side of town where our drug issues are more prevalent.
Where he expects to see a jump in drug use, drug addiction, and drug crime.
We're definitely going to experience an uptick. You're going to have incidents of domestic violence. You're going to have incidents of theft, of trespassing.
After 32 years in blue, he questions whether drug users will take the path to treatment. He says he just hasn't seen it happen often.
We're the guardians that are supposed to save them from themselves, but they don't always want to be saved. It's disheartening.
Sitting at the back of a truck stop,
Gentlemen, how are you?
we find Ranger and his dogs Random and Finnegan. He's 21, camera shy, on the road, he says, for 2, maybe 3 years. I ask him if he sees a lot of drug use.
All the time, everywhere, bud. Like, honestly, I mean, every other person I run into either, smokes the or knows about the in some way, shape, or form.
Hard drugs.
Yeah.
Ranger hopes the new approach in Oregon can help, but he also shares the chief's skepticism.
Met hundreds of people that they just go get treatment, and then the second they get right back out, they just turn right back to it, So,
meet Kevin Kidd. We find him in a park by the railroad tracks, one of those who knows all about getting right back to it.
Common. It's very common. They all have their excuses why.
He's clean now, he claims, after being in and out of rehab several times.
I think it's probably, for the most part, it's going to be the same. It's just I think a lot more people are going to be more easier to get help, with drugs come criminal activities, but also, there's a bigger resource now. There's going to be a bigger community. Like, people aren't going to be so afraid to reach out.
But it takes a true partnership.
A few blocks down the street, the chief stops to talk with a retired business owner, fed up with the drug scene now and with the Measure 110 approach.
We want nothing to do with it. These are all small businesses. This is a farming community. We don't need this crap. We're just trying to make $1.
He points out a man across the street, huddled by a post.
This crap I've just given up, like Chris over there. He wants to be homeless. His drug of choice is meth, I believe.
Chris tells us he doesn't do drugs. It's hard to believe. I ask him if there's help out there for those who do.
No, I don't think so. Well, kind of, the checks are kind of hell, but the Corona checks.
It's night and day.
Down another Ontario alley, we meet an apartment manager who says Oregon's drug policies are already bringing people into the neighborhood.
Yeah, I know some people, they've moved over here just because they were, they had problems with drugs over in Payette or over in Idaho, and it's a little more lenient over here.
And that's why Chief Romero sees trouble coming from the east, across the Snake River, where 110 is just another number. Welcome to Idaho, where drug laws haven't changed at all, where there's no grand experiment in drug decriminalization, and where felonies are still felonies, and where police sources tell me their drug enforcement efforts are going to remain exactly the same. It'll be business as usual in Idaho. And with Measure 110 being implemented right next door, they expect business to be brisk. And on the Oregon side, police expect new challenges. After all, why risk doing or buying drugs over there when there's no longer much of a penalty over here?
The reality is, a lot of our problems come from Idaho. Idaho loves their dope.
As an indicator, he cites the 9 pot stores in this city of 12,000, selling $8 million or so worth of legal weed every month. The parking lots packed with Idaho license plates, the drive-through windows busy serving the same clientele. Malheur County, with its wide-open spaces and sparse population, leads the state in per capita pot sales, and there's no close second.
Really concerned with his marijuana.
And the sheriff expects to see more hard drugs coming over his southern border, especially meth from Mexico.
And that comes right up through Highway 95. So it's being trafficked right through Malheur County. Kind of sad to say that, but I do believe the supply is going to have to be increased because of the demand here.
The big question, what happens next in this border town and across the state? The chief says, wait a few years.
It's an experiment. This is a true experiment. No other state in the union is doing this. So we don't know what the true impact is going to be.
And here's Kevin's take on the future, a vision from the wandering homeless.
The craziest thing that we can see next is them starting to sell it inside stores over the counter.
2 states, 2 concepts, and one shared future that is hard to predict. On the Oregon-Idaho border, I'm Alan Schaffler, Central Oregon Daily News.